Hey, have you ever asked yourself what happens to a bank account when somebody dies? Well, listen up because in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens and how you can avoid money getting lost or going into the wrong hands. What's up, y'all? My name is Aquania Escarne. I'm the creator and founder of The Purpose of Money, a platform that teaches women how to build wealth through life insurance and real estate. And today we're going to talk about what happens to money in a bank account when somebody dies, so you can be prepared and make sure that your money goes to all the right places. So I was reading this really cool article that kind of dives into this subject to educate people about what happens. And it got me to thinking how many people don't actually know how this process plays out. So long story short, if you have a bank account and it has money in it and you are the only person on that bank account and all of a sudden you die, guess what happens? Well, there's a couple of things that can happen. Banks nowadays actually do give you the right as an account holder to name a beneficiary of that account. And you can ask for the funds in the account to be transferred upon death or pass on to be payable to someone upon death. They call those PODs and TODs, transfer upon death, payable upon death, to the person that you name. So if you're single, ready to mingle, but do not have any friends, family, or joint bank account holder, you may want to check with your bank to see if you have your beneficiary forms in place. This is super important because if they discover that you've passed away, they will transfer the money to the person you've named. But if you don't name anyone, it gets complicated. So here's what happens. If you die and there is no one named on the forms, then it immediately goes into whatever the process is in your state. So if you have an existing will, they will follow the instructions of the will, and your executor of your estate will work with the bank to make sure those funds go to where they're supposed to go. But because you didn't name a beneficiary, they must first go to any debt and creditors, and then they are distributed to the family member based on whatever's left over. So you see the difference here? You have the option to leave your money to a person or leave your money to your creditors and those who you owe, and then your family, right? So you want to make sure you have your documents in place. Now, if you are married or have someone else on the bank account, that's called a joint account where you might have survivorship opportunities or benefits. Then you want to check with the bank and make sure that the account has survivorship benefits, which means if one person passes away, the other living person inherits the money in the account and is able to continue to use it or maintain it. But you want to take action to figure these things out because the rules change once someone has passed away. When you have a joint account and you have two people on it, the insurance, that federal insurance that covers the account and up to a certain amount of money, it normally will cover up to $500,000, $250,000 for each person. But once somebody passes away, there are some accounts that will immediately or within a few months go down to only $250,000. So if there's anything that happened to the account, the economy, and that money was lost and you did not do what you were supposed to do to make sure that that account transfers or the survivorship rights transfer, you may actually be jeopardizing the replacement value of that account as well. So make sure you check with your bank to see what are the rules on your joint account. Is there survivorship benefit so that the other account holder will automatically get access to the money and inherit it? Or do you need to fill out a beneficiary form so that this money transfers to who you want it to upon death? This is super important, guys, because you never know what's going to happen and you want to make sure your money is not left and lost. And you might be wondering, well, how does the bank find out? So get this. There's multiple ways that a bank can find out that someone's passed away. Now, obviously, way number one is you tell them. You're a surviving family member. You tell the bank your family member has passed away and you are the one in charge of handling their final affairs. So that's the way it normally happens. But there's other ways that banks find out as well. You might not realize this, but when you pass away, if you were collecting Social Security, there are quite a few funeral homes who will voluntarily inform the Social Security Administration that you've passed away so that the person who died stops getting Social Security benefits, including checks. Any checks received after death are required to be returned to the government. And so Social Security Administration will contact the banks they were putting money into and let them know that they heard from a funeral director or a funeral home that the recipient of the Social Security benefits has passed away, and therefore they need to receive any payments received after death and have them returned to them. Well, as soon as the bank finds out this information, they're going to put in their process to close that account as well, to return the money that wasn't supposed to be paid out, and to handle the affairs accordingly. So that's another way banks find out. So try to stay on top of this stuff, especially if you are nominated to be the executor of someone's estate, because you'd rather be the person who tells the bank and work with them than they find out from someone else. They start to close the accounts before you get access to them, and then we have some trouble. So I hope this was helpful. I know it's crazy and something we never think about, but it's super important to make sure you're prepared and knowledgeable so that you can take the right action. So if this video was helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and make sure that you stay tuned to future videos where we'll talk about wealth building strategies and tips to help you with your money. Until next time, keep building generational wealth. I'm your host, Aquania Escarne.